Each year, 18% of adult Americans who fly are doing so for the first time. But here's the shocking truth. Airport anxiety affects 97% of these first-time flyers, with 24% experiencing severe physical symptoms like panic attacks or nausea. The difference between a smooth experience and a travel nightmare often comes down to knowing just a few critical insider tips. Today's guide reveals the 15 essential strategies that transform terrified first-time flyers into confident travelers. Number 10 will blow your mind. It's completely legal, but airlines desperately hope you never discover it because it gives passengers an advantage most never use. But the most valuable secret comes at the end. Stay tuned to learn the one technique used by flight attendants themselves that can make even the most anxious traveler feel like a seasoned pro. The journey begins with a comprehensive packing list. Experienced travelers never rely on memory alone. Instead, they create detailed lists divided into categories: clothing, toiletries, electronics, documents, and medications. For first-time flyers, the ideal list should be started at least 1 week before departure. This timeline allows for purchasing forgotten items without last-minute stress. Studies show that travelers who create written packing lists are 78% less likely to forget essential items. Did you know that forgetting just one crucial item like prescription medication or a phone charger can cost an average of $75 to replace while traveling? The most effective method combines digital and physical lists. Keep a running list on your phone, adding items as they come to mind. Then print a physical copy for the final packing session, checking off each item as it goes into the luggage. But even the perfect packing list becomes useless if paired with the wrong luggage. Next, we'll reveal the critical luggage decision that can make or break your entire travel experience. First-time flyers face a critical choice: carry-on only or checked luggage. This decision significantly impacts the entire travel experience. Carry-on bags offer freedom and security. These bags stay with travelers throughout the journey, eliminating lost luggage concerns and allowing immediate exit upon landing. However, they limit space and must conform to strict size requirements. Typically 22 x 14 x 9 inches, including handles and wheels. Checked luggage provides more space, but introduces complications. These bags must be dropped off, potentially creating additional lines and fees ranging from $30 to $60. More concerning, approximately 24 million bags were mishandled worldwide in 2023, with about 5% never reunited with their owners. What would you do if arriving at your destination without your luggage meant having no clothing or toiletries for the first 2 days of your trip? The optimal strategy for first-time flyers: stick with carry-on luggage when possible. Pack versatile clothing layers rather than bulky items, and wear the heaviest shoes and jacket during travel to save space. But before packing anything, there's an even more important decision that could save you hundreds of dollars and countless headaches during travel disruptions. Coming up next, the booking strategy airlines don't want you to know about. How travelers purchase tickets significantly impacts both cost and experience. While third-party booking sites often advertise the lowest fares, they create complications that first-time travelers rarely anticipate. Airlines prioritize their direct customers during disruptions like weather delays or cancellations. When rebooking becomes necessary, travelers who purchase directly through the airline receive priority assistance, often securing the last available seats while third-party customers wait for resolution. During a major winter storm in 2023, passengers who booked directly with airlines were rebooked an average of 18 hours faster than those using third-party sites. How much is a day of your vacation worth? The most effective booking strategy: compare prices across sites, but complete the purchase directly through the airline's official website. This approach combines competitive pricing with superior customer service and flexibility. With tickets secured, attention turns to perhaps the most critical preparation step of all: the documentation mistake that caused over 280,000 travelers to be denied boarding last year alone. Document preparation separates smooth travelers from those frantically searching through bags at check-in counters. For domestic flights, adult passengers need government-issued photo identification, typically a driver's license or passport. Starting May 7, 2025, all domestic travelers will require real ID-compliant identification, marked with a star in the upper corner of the license. International travel requires a passport valid for at least 6 months beyond the return date. Some countries also mandate visas, proof of return tickets, or evidence of sufficient funds. In 2023, over 283,000 travelers were denied boarding due to improper documentation. Imagine arriving at the airport after months of planning only to be turned away at the check-in counter. Beyond official requirements, experienced travelers create a digital document backup system. This includes photos of all travel documents stored in a password-protected folder, email copies to a personal account, and at least one physical photocopy kept separate from originals. But even with perfect documentation, there's another critical factor that could ground you before takeoff. Coming next, the medical considerations that first-time flyers often dangerously overlook. Medical considerations create unique challenges for air travelers, particularly those with chronic conditions. The pressurized cabin environment typically maintains pressure equivalent to 6,000, 8,000 feet elevation, reducing oxygen levels by approximately 4 to 5% compared to ground level. For most travelers, this causes no problems, but those with respiratory or cardiovascular conditions may need physician clearance before flying. Prescription medications require special attention. Pack at least 2 days of extra medication in case of delays. Keep medications in original labeled containers to avoid security complications. During a 10-hour flight, cabin humidity drops to about 20%, similar to desert conditions. How would this affect someone with respiratory issues or contact lenses? Motion sickness affects approximately 25 to 30% of first-time flyers. Over-the-counter medications like Dramamine or prescription options like scopolamine patches can help when taken before symptoms begin. Up next is the electronic preparation tip that airlines hope you never discover, a legal loophole that gives savvy travelers a powerful advantage during flight disruptions. This seemingly simple tip contains a powerful secret that most airlines prefer passengers never discover. Fully charged devices provide more than convenience. They create leverage. During delays or cancellations, passengers with functioning phones can immediately rebook while others wait in customer service lines. During the massive 2023 holiday disruptions, American Airlines reported that 68% of successful rebookings occurred through their mobile app, rather than at airport counters. But here's the shocking truth about electronics that airlines don't advertise. Passengers legally cannot be separated from lithium-ion batteries, including power banks. During involuntary gate checking of carry-ons, travelers can remove power banks and essential electronics, keeping them even when space constraints force luggage into the cargo hold. What if a single power bank could mean the difference between being stranded overnight or securing the last seat on an alternative flight? Most people will forget to hit subscribe, even though it helps more than you realize. Those few seconds support more travel advice videos that could save hours of frustration on your next trip. With electronics ready, the next tip could be the difference between getting your preferred seat or being involuntarily bumped from an overbooked flight entirely. Online check-in, available 24 hours before departure, provides advantages beyond convenience. First-time travelers often miss that earlier check-in typically means better seat assignments. On Southwest Airlines, which uses open seating, check-in position directly determines boarding order and seat selection options. More critically, checking in early helps protect against overbooked flights. When flights exceed capacity, which happens on approximately 5% of domestic routes, the last passengers to check in face the highest risk of involuntary bumping. In 2023, over 20,000 passengers were involuntarily denied boarding on U.S. carriers. Airlines overbook based on sophisticated algorithms predicting no-show rates. Would you risk losing your seat because you delayed check-in by a few hours? The optimal check-in strategy: set an alarm for exactly 24 hours before departure. Use the airline's mobile app for fastest processing and screenshot the boarding pass or save it to your phone's wallet app. But even with a confirmed boarding pass, there's still a common mistake that strands thousands of passengers every year. Next, we'll reveal the airport confusion that has ruined countless vacations before they even begin. This seemingly obvious tip prevents a surprisingly common disaster among first-time flyers in multi-airport cities. Major metropolitan areas frequently serve multiple airports that sound deceptively similar. Chicago, O'Hare versus Midway. New York, JFK, LaGuardia, or Newark. Washington, D.C., Reagan National, Dulles, or BWI. San Francisco, SFO versus Oakland or San Jose. In 2023, rideshare data from Uber revealed that approximately 2,700 passengers requested last-minute airport changes after realizing they were heading to the wrong location. Many missed their flights entirely. Imagine arriving at Newark Airport only to discover your flight departs from JFK 35 miles and potentially hours away in New York City traffic. Always check the 3-letter airport code on tickets and confirm the correct airport when arranging transportation. Getting to the right airport is essential, but so is the timing of your arrival. Coming up next, the critical arrival window that over 200,000 passengers miscalculated last year, costing them their flights despite being at the correct airport. Airport arrival timing creates a critical balance between wasted time and missed flights. Industry experts recommend arriving 2 hours before domestic flights and 3 hours before international departures. This recommendation isn't arbitrary. It reflects average processing times plus contingency for unexpected delays. Most airlines close check-in counters 45 minutes before departure and boarding gates 15 minutes prior, regardless of passenger circumstances. In 2023, approximately 215,000 passengers missed flights despite arriving at the airport, simply because they reached check-in counters or gates after cutoff times. Did you know that certain times create predictable airport congestion? Monday mornings, Friday afternoons, and Sunday evenings typically see security wait times increase by 30 to 45% compared to Tuesday or Wednesday mornings. For first-time flyers, the optimal strategy adds 30 minutes beyond standard recommendations, particularly during holiday periods or at unfamiliar airports. Now let's turn to the airport experience that causes anxiety for 84% of first-time flyers, the security screening process that can either be smooth or incredibly stressful, depending on one key factor. Security screening creates anxiety for 84% of first-time flyers, but preparation transforms this process from stressful to straightforward. The TSA 311 rule governs liquids. Containers must be 3.4 ounces, 100 milliliters or smaller, all fitting within one quart-sized clear plastic bag, with one bag per passenger. Medications and child nourishment items like baby formula are exempt but must be declared. Beyond liquids, travelers must remove electronics larger than a cell phone, shoes, except for travelers over 75 or under 12, light jackets, and belts with metal buckles. In 2023, TSA officers discovered 6,542 firearms at security checkpoints, 93% of which were loaded. Imagine the delays and potential legal consequences of accidentally bringing prohibited items. The optimal security strategy: wear easily removable shoes without metal components, place small electronics in a carry-on pocket before reaching security, and have the clear liquids bag easily accessible. After clearing security, you'll face a critical pre-boarding period that experienced travelers use strategically. Coming up next, the boarding area techniques that can dramatically improve your comfort during flight delays and connections. The boarding area offers a final opportunity for preparation before entering the confined aircraft environment. Approximately 60% of passengers use pre-flight bathroom facilities, but few realize the strategic importance of timing. During the 30-40 minutes before boarding, restroom facilities near the gate area experience peak demand, often creating lines. Using facilities slightly further from the gate or 45-60 minutes before boarding can save time. Hydration and nourishment deserve special attention. Airport food typically costs 3 to 4 times more than identical items outside the secure area. Budget-conscious travelers bring empty water bottles through security and fill them at water stations, saving an average of $5 per bottle. What would you do if your 3-hour flight was delayed on the tarmac for an additional 2 hours without meal service? Would you have sufficient water and snacks? Have you experienced a flight delay or cancellation that required unexpected hours in the airport? Share your story in the comments. Your experience could help other travelers avoid the same challenges. Now comes the moment of truth: boarding the aircraft itself. Our next tip reveals the surprising boarding strategy that could mean the difference between having overhead space for your bag or watching it get taken away at the gate. Airplane boarding follows specific procedures designed to maximize efficiency, but strategic approaches can significantly improve the experience. Most carriers use zone boarding, assigning passengers to numbered groups. However, families with small children, active military, and passengers needing special assistance typically board first, regardless of assigned zone. For carry-on bags, timing creates critical advantages. Early boarding typically ensures overhead bin space, while later boarding often forces bags to be gate-checked on full flights. In 2023, Approximately 4.8 million bags were gate-checked due to limited overhead space. Contrary to popular belief, rushing to board first doesn't always save time. Passengers in the final boarding groups spend an average of 15 fewer minutes in the confined airplane cabin, though they do risk limited overhead space. But what happens if your carefully packed carry-on suddenly needs to be checked at the gate? Coming next, the emergency extraction plan that savvy travelers always prepare for, yet 30% of first-time flyers completely overlook. Even perfectly packed carry-on bags sometimes end up checked, requiring specific preparations. When flights reach capacity, gate agents often request voluntary bag checking to the final destination. This service is typically offered free of charge, unlike regular checked baggage. However, approximately 30% of first-time flyers aren't prepared for this possibility. What essential items would you need immediate access to if your carry-on bag suddenly had to be checked at the gate? The optimal preparation strategy involves a simple extraction plan for carry-ons. Pack a small, lightweight bag inside the carry-on that can be quickly filled with essentials like medications, electronics, valuables, and a basic overnight kit. Once aboard, you'll face perhaps the most challenging aspect of flying, the increasingly cramped airplane seats. Up next, the flight attendant's secret to achieving comfort in economy class that most passengers never discover. The airplane seat environment presents unique challenges, especially on longer flights. Standard economy seats have narrowed from an average width of 18.5 inches in the 1990s to approximately 17 inches today. Simultaneously, legroom has decreased from 34 to about 31 inches on most carriers. Experienced travelers employ specific techniques to maximize comfort. The flight attendant secret neck pillow technique, positioned under the chin rather than behind the neck, preventing forward head drop during sleep, strategic hydration, approximately 8 ounces of water per hour of flight time, compression socks for flights over 4 hours to reduce swelling. Aircraft cabins maintain only 20% humidity, significantly drier than the Sahara Desert's average of 25%. How would this affect your comfort during an 8-hour flight? Type first flight in the comments if you've made it this far. Also, let me know if you are interested in our complete first-time flyer checklist with all these tips plus bonus strategies not covered in this video. But all these physical comfort strategies pale in comparison to the mental technique coming next, the psychological approach used by flight crews themselves that transforms the entire flying experience. The single most powerful strategy for first-time flyers involves understanding turbulence, the leading cause of flight anxiety. Turbulence feels dangerous but isn't. Commercial aircraft are engineered to withstand forces far exceeding typical turbulence. The last commercial U.S. airline fatality attributed primarily to turbulence occurred in 1966, despite millions of flights experiencing turbulence annually. Flight crews view turbulence differently than passengers. Pilots describe it as an inconvenience rather than a danger, comparable to driving on a bumpy road. This perspective shift transforms the experience from frightening to merely uncomfortable. The practical application combines mental preparation with physical techniques, understanding that turbulence rarely lasts more than 10-15 minutes, focusing on a fixed point within the aircraft rather than looking outside during rough air, using deep breathing techniques. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 7, exhale for 8. Alternating muscle tension and relaxation, starting from feet and moving upward. This approach has been shown to reduce anxiety symptoms in 76% of nervous flyers, according to aviation psychology research. First-time flying combines excitement with challenges, but proper preparation transforms potential stress into confident travel. From packing strategies to security navigation, boarding techniques to comfort maximization, these 15 tips provide a comprehensive system for successful air travel. Remember that even experienced travelers were once first-time flyers. Each journey builds confidence and creates a foundation for future adventures. If these tips helped prepare for an upcoming first flight, please consider subscribing for more travel guidance. Safe travels, and enjoy the journey as much as the destination.